Good morning, everyone. So it's been a while, and I wanted to get back into the routine of doing more tarot readings that are more talking instead of typing. It's been a crazy month, and it's about to become an even crazier month. So I am likely going to be less active on social media just because I have a family member that will need a surgery and some care, and that's going to take up most of my September. But I miss doing this. And I pulled these cards last night, and I was going to do a new pull, and I just thought I haven't delved into this enough. So today's reading is using the Tarot of the Mystical Moments, or Tarot of Mystical Moments. This is a mass market deck. This is by published by US Games. This is by Katrin Wellstein. This is also the deck that I learned to read tarot on. And while I love my indie decks, most of my decks are indie. Um, Mainly because I am a cardstock snob. But I love this deck. It has such a special place in my heart, and the imagery is amazing. If this ever came out in matte, I would buy it in a heartbeat. But anyway, let's delve into the reading, shall we? So we have the Death card, the Ace of Cups, and the High Priestess. Big energy, two majors, one ace in the middle, and I wanted to unpack this. So I have to say, this Death card is probably one of the most beautiful renditions of death that I have seen in a tarot deck. You see this beautiful woman holding these, I don't know if this is an orchid. I'm really bad with flowers, but holding this flower, and you see her rib cage, and underneath it you see that the growth is coming out from within her. And death is really a transformational card. It's not, to me, about a literal death, although it can feel that way at times. It really is about that inner transformation. And you even see the butterflies emerging as well. And to think of seeing her parts of her skeleton, right, which symbolizes that something has decayed, something has crumbled, something has died. But you see all this life, all this new life coming out of it. Um, this is really kind of, for me, a reflection, and how I'm taking this in my personal reading of the journey that I have been in therapy. And I'm starting to see the fruits of that in a more practical, everyday way, um, because I have new connections. And typically, my trauma manifests itself when I have new connections. So my older friends, let's say, have seen me navigate these new connections and have seen me, and they say, it's not, can I don't know what the right word is, but it's not like a humble brag, but it actually, I am proud of myself, so I'm going to say it. They've said, like, you've come so far, and that means a lot, that they see the change. So definitely in this energy. And then I think also one thing I have to say is when the death card comes up, sometimes I look at this in future energy and it scares me a lot because I know it's on the horizon. But I very rarely look at it as present energy. And last night when I pulled this, it was very much present energy. Like, you are in this now, you are in the transformation part. The decay had happened, and you are now being able to let go of things that needed to crumble and die. And we're in this part of transformation and beauty. And then we have the Ace of Cups. So when this transformation happened, um, certainly I feel like there's more of me to give. There's more wholeness. There's more love. There's more love for myself and for anybody else that comes in my life, be that in friendship, be that in work, be that in my personal romantic life. Like, it feels like I've been replenished and I can give more. And I really love this depiction of the Ace of Cups as well, because it feels like a never ending stream of butterflies. Like, just, it's like endless, right? Like, it just keeps coming out from this tiny cup that you didn't think could hold that much, but it does. And then we have the High Priestess. So, before I move on to that, I will say that I did feel a bit of fear with this, because previously to therapy and all of that, being this open and this giving has really backfired on me, because I had no boundaries. So it's not necessarily about any other person, but it's also about my contribution, where I had no boundaries and it was just like, take everything, like, which is not healthy. So there is a bit of fear, even as I love this card. There's a bit of fear of like, it's gonna run out, right? Like, it's gonna run out. And the High Priestess shows up, and this is a card of seeing beyond the curtain, seeing beyond the veil, and being this sort of safe harbor, trusting your intuition, which then directs the ship, right? And it's a reminder that because of this transformation, I can trust my intuition. I certainly can. Like, it's not, I don't know, it's not something that I have to worry about as much or overthink as much. I've learned to lean into my body. I've learned to say, okay, I'm feeling off, I'm feeling uneasy. I need to lean into that. I need to trust my intuition. I can explore that when it feels safe. So, this is just sort of a reminder for me that I'm okay and that I don't need to be so scared all the time, about the changes that are happening or how I am showing up and giving or receiving. And then I did pull three other, well, I pulled like four actually, four other cards today, this morning, because I wanted to explore underneath this goodness, what is the fear that I have? Like, what's driving this fear, that I see in the Ace of Cups? What's driving this fear that I feel when I see the Death card, and all of that in this particular context? So, um, we have the Eight of Swords underneath the Death card. What is driving this fear of transformation is this feeling that I actually am faking it, that I haven't changed, that it's all in my head, but when it comes to practical application, it just gets lost. Like, it is a transformation in the mind, but it doesn't manifest itself outwardly. And, you know, to be able to put in context what the fear is, I can then go back to this and say, yeah, that's not true though. It's not all in my head. I worked a lot on cognitive, processes within myself, but I've also worked on not overthinking and actually listening to my body. And I know that I can trust that even if I take a few steps back here and there, I'm not in the same place that I was. And that's really important. Otherwise, for me, it's like, why do I do the work if I'm not moving? And very often I do feel like I'm not moving, but I am moving. It's just slowly and more cautiously, and that is okay. I don't want to say like, if you don't feel it, you're not moving. That's not what I'm trying to say. But certainly with me, I can question the growth, don't give myself enough credit, and this is just a reminder that no, it's not, you're not stuck, I'm not stuck. And then underneath the Ace of Cups, we have the Five of Cups. Ha, yeah, yeah. The fear, right, of not trusting this, that I have this, that I am replenished, that I have enough in me to give, that I can maintain my boundaries, but really sort of give and receive in turn, is limited by the Five of Cups energy, which is for me, um, believing in the negative. I have an easier time having that negative self-talk. I have an easier time believing that things will not happen, that um, I am the victim. You know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily victim mentality, but in a way, sure. but it just feels like I can focus on the things that were lost instead of what I have in my hand. And this seems like just a few flowers, and the bigger ones are the things that I've lost, but actually it's like a wealth of things. So again, this is the fear of, it's like PTSD, isn't it? It's like this will be taken away from me. So how can I give so freely? I need to hold on to some things because what if it gets taken away? There's a lot of that happening underneath the surface. And then for the high priestess, I actually had two cards. So the first one is the King of Pentacles. And in this deck, they have like female versions of the kings, which I love. And I have them all in the deck, and I pulled this one. And it feels like the fear underneath trusting my intuition is, it feels like I should have things together in my head, in my logic, in my, feels like I shouldn't trust my intuition. I should only trust what I can see and what I can hold in my hands. And if I don't have everything that I need, well then I'm fucked. Like, it's really tough. Um, the other card that I pulled for this high priestess is the Five of Swords. So jumping off of that thing with the Ten of Pentacles, where, sorry, the King of Pentacles, where it's like I feel the need to be in control of everything, and that's not trusting my intuition, because when you feel the need to control everything, is there a need for intuition if everything is ordered and precise and to your liking? And the Five of Swords shows up. And the Five of Swords to me is very much a self-sabotage card. Like, this could be my shadow. I convince myself that I need something. I convince myself that it's like I'm fighting with myself. I don't want to accept what I know. I don't want to accept the goodness. I just want to wait for the other shoe to drop. And that's the fear that I have, is that I need to be hyper alert and hyper cautious. And the having intuition does not mean that I'm an idiot and just like skipping through the fields like everything's great until it's not. It's being able to be at peace until your intuition pings. Like, why am I future predicting, or like living in the future, living in a future that is really painful, it hasn't even happened, just to prepare myself for the possibility of, why can't I enjoy the present moment and trust that my intuition will guide me when I need to be alert and cautious? So these are the underlying fears, and this is what I want to focus on. I also want to pull a card to close. I think I want to pull one from the Align Heart Affirmations Oracle by Kimberly San. Let me just make sure I have all the cards that I need. This is the Fine Lines edition. So the original was white text. This is the black text one. I have both. I am not sure that I want to get rid of either yet, even though I should just have one. But I would like to pull an affirmation to close out the reading. This one. I may feel damaged and broken, but I know in my heart that I am whole and worthy of love. I can't say it any better. So I'll end with that. As always, thank you for joining me. Take care. Bye.